Hi guys, I'm Scott from CrossFit Conditioning, and this is Ryan, one of our athletes and also one of our coaches. So today we're going to go through the air squat. Now the air squat is a foundational movement to all our other squats. So if we can get this bang on right, then it makes our front squats, overhead squats, back squats, makes them so much easier to learn and pick up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just work on our setup. So our setup is the key. So I'm going to use Ryan as our demo person today. So he's going to have his feet about hip width apart. So we don't want to have them too wide, we don't want to have them too narrow. So sort of between hip and shoulder width. Okay. From there, if we look at Ryan's side on, what we want to make sure of when we actually go through the squat, what we're looking at doing is actually starting by pushing our hips back. Okay, so I'm going to get Ryan to take his hands up overhead. So concentrating on keeping that chest up. Then he's going to slide his hips back. That's it, keeping the weight on his heels, and we're aiming to get those hips below your knees. Okay, then from there he's going to come all the way up, and then full extension at the top. Okay, so he's just going to we'll go 2 or 3 reps there, so go again. So you'll notice that the crease of the hip is below the knee. Okay, then back up, and then we open hips up at the top. And again, so crease of hip below knee, and back up. The other thing we're also looking at is what the heels are doing. So we want to make sure those heels stay on the ground. Okay, so I'm going to get Ryan just to show you a few bad reps, I guess. Okay, so if he faces the camera, first things first is knees rolling in. Okay, so these are some typical things that can happen. So knees want to buckle in. Okay, so we want to make sure we're fighting to keep those knees out. Okay, so initially we're really being conscious of pushing those knees out. Think of dragging your feet apart on the floor, and that will help keep those knees out. Then just standing up. The other thing is, if we go side on, is heels off the ground. Okay, so as he squats, if his knees pop forward, his heels then want to come off the ground. Okay, so we want to make sure that the weight is on the heel of our feet, so our hips are back. Okay, and then standing up. The other point we're looking at is also his depth. Okay, so we want to make sure the hips get below, or the crease of our hips get below our knees. Okay, so this is, I guess, a poor rep. So from there and back up. So we're not going the full range. Just do that one again. Okay, so you'll notice he's not getting that extra bit of depth. Now, obviously, if you have knee issues and things like that, and you've been told by physios not to go that full range, then obviously listen to them. But if your knees are good and you feel comfortable with it, then what we're really looking for is making sure those hips get below knees. The last thing that we're going to look at is upper body wise. Okay, so we want to make sure our chest is up nice and high. Okay, so I'm going to get him to show you just a pull rep, which a lot of people can do, is that they'll round off through their back. Okay, so they'll almost drop their head or their shoulders to make them feel as though they're going deeper. Okay, so what we want to make sure of to correct that, keeping that chest up, keeping the weight on the heels, so hips slide back, good, and then we're just nice vertical at the top there. So keeping the hands overhead makes a big difference, so it just helps keep that chest up and nice and stable through there. Okay, so that is our air squat, so give that a go, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.